Hello, my dear friend. This is your friend, Dr. Samuel Kisseadoo. Let's talk about the control of your tongue and temper in your relationships, whether home, on the job, at school, or even on social media and on telephone and places, in the marketplace. Know and understand that death and life are in the power of the tongue. God says it in Proverbs 18:21. And then in James chapter 1, verse 19 and 20. So then, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath, anger. For the wrath, that is the anger of man, does not produce the righteousness of God. You see, God's righteousness does not go with the anger of man. If you allow insults, derogatory remarks that put people down, despising mockery, and demeaning sarcasm, negative statements, see about people, the one you are relating to, your wife, your husband, harsh criticisms. If you allow them to carelessly come out of your lips to your partner, family member, household member, colleague or friend, or your spouse or your fiancé, you're going to discourage the person from communicating with you. It's going to hinder all motivation and efforts to expect good things to be produced in the person's life towards you, and even you towards that person. If you allow yourself to get used to threats, constant outbursts of anger, and then forced deadlines. If you don't do it by tomorrow morning, if I don't get this by the end of the year, I'm divorcing, I'll quit this relationship if you keep doing this and all that. Be careful of the threats. And then commanding tones. Then you're not going to help anyone to change the way you want to. We make mistakes. If you want real changes in the person's life, then the way to help is not just threatening. You see, there must be love. See, don't show an unwelcome attitude always towards the person, or welcome atmosphere to create an environment that doesn't make the one listen attentively, or you don't listen attentively to advice and counseling for important changes. Then it's going to be difficult for us to relate. The person will also feel motivated when you say positive things that encourage the person. That despite all your efforts, you make mistakes, but I appreciate your efforts. Despite all your mistakes, I know one day everything is going to be all right. And we can adapt and have a better relationship. Train yourself to stop looking backwards always. So some of us always, when we are hysterical, then we are historical. The history comes. Always referring to the past when we have to discuss things for the now. Get rid of that habit. It doesn't help. Stop meditating on past errors and offenses and always referring to the past, one thing, and then you bring a whole chain of things into the conversation. It becomes mantra. Hey, I don't know when you're going to change. And then even when you have counseled the person, I don't think it's going to change. You prophesy it, you get what you say. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18:21. You see, don't be prophesying doom and gloom always into the situation. You are not inviting God that way. We are commanded to bless our enemies even. And that to build a protective shield against the devil himself. It opens divine doors for God's grace to fall upon you. So be careful what you say. Try also to avoid spreading gossip about the person who is in your life and stabbing the one behind. Let everyone knows my husband is like this, my wife is like this. And to your close friends, you tell your best friend, who will tell the best friend, you also tell his best friend and her best friend, and then the thing spreads around. There was a case where there was adultery somewhere. And when I called the man, he made a statement. If people had done this, it will have helped me because my wife has made me an adulterer all over the city. You tell pastor, fine. You tell one elder, but then you tell that person, and the other person, and the other person, and in the whole church, it has gone round. He went somewhere, committed adultery, and came and confided in the wife. But then the wife, trying to help him, told friends to pray, and other people, and then sometimes they tell family members. You see? And then the thing spreads. Careless talk, you see, will cause the faults of the one to spread all over the place. It's not going to promote repentance, and it's not going to help the one's reputation. Because in the end, when the problems are solved, you realize you have destroyed the person. And no one respects your husband or wife or fiancé or friend anymore, or your employee or your boss or whatever it is. If you have left a job, left a church, left a group, be very careful how you paint that group, that husband, that wife, that church, that group, very black outside. See, don't do things that will rob you of the blessings of God, that are not godly, that will not help people to rather change. Okay? Seek to build a good relationship with people's hearts and minds. This is Dr. Samuel Kisseadoo. Call me in the US in 1-757-696-7442. Ghana call 020-812-6533. Go to Challenge Bookstores for my books on Amazon.com. God bless you.